If you're looking to jump into the Bazaar but don't have time for a long tutorial, then this guide's going to get you playing and hopefully winning in under 10 minutes. I'm Xander, and I'm super excited to be back on YouTube after a little break. Lately, I've been obsessed with the Bazaar. It's a cool mix of a card game and an auto battler that's got me totally hooked. If you're new to it or just curious, you're in the right place. I'll walk you through the basics, show you how to start with Vanessa, and get you ready to win your first match. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll know exactly how to jump in and hold your own. Let's get started. So, the goal of the Bazaar is to try and get 10 PvP wins before your prestige drops to 0. You do this by building a board of cards that fight for you automatically. In a way, it's similar to teamfight tactics from League of Legends. Before starting a run, however, you will pick a hero. The first hero you will have is Vanessa, and therefore she will be the focus of this guide. Other heroes include Dooley, Mac, and Pygmalin, with many more to come. So, you select your hero and then start a game. I recommend you play normal games until you feel comfortable with the basics, because ranked games come with a cost. However, you do get a free ranked voucher each day, so please make sure you use it before it expires. Now, on to the fun part. The game is separated into days, and each day has 6 hours in it. Each hour of every day, you will be presented with choices to help you acquire more cards, experience, and ultimately power. These choices include merchants, NPC fights, events that mix things up, and tons more as they continue to add them in the future. Then, on the final hour of each day, you're going to do a PvP battle against another player. Something really interesting about how the Bazaar works is that the player battles are not against live players. You're actually fighting a copy of a player's board from that same day. This way, you don't have to worry about matchmaking because there's always a board available to play. Now, at the beginning of each day, you're going to start with a small amount of gold and some income. The amount of income you have is denoted by the plus sign here on the bottom right, and currently it's +5 income and 8 gold that you start with. But the devs have been changing these things around as a way to balance the game, so it might change by the time you watch this video. Either way though, you will gain your income amount at the start of each new day. And yes, you can increase your income throughout the game. Now let's talk about the hero board. Your heroes board has 10 slots, and cards take 1 to 3 slots each. You also have a stash which can hold 10 cards as well, and this can be useful for saving or upgrading cards for future use during your run. Cards have different effects like damage, shield, poison, burn, haste, and charge, to name a few, and these different effects can have some interesting interactions. As a simple example, poison damage will ignore shields and straight up deplete health, and on the more advanced side, you could have a card like Zorcid, which hastes adjacent items, but is also charged when you burn, allowing you to get some really cool feedback loops like this. One more note is that cards all have different types, so pay attention to these too, as they can be very useful as well for building synergies. Now for the last part of the hero board, we have skills. Skills are super important in the Bazaar. These are passive boosts that can be stacked with no limit. They can add damage, burn, poison, you name it. You can grab them at certain level ups from fighting monsters, buy them, and even level up existing ones. There are general skills and hero specific ones, so keep a lookout for them because having the right skills can make or break your build. Ultimately, I encourage you to just have some fun, experiment, and test these interactions for yourself. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the goal of the Bazaar is to get 10 PvP wins. As you go through and try to get these wins, you're probably going to lose some along the way. He's immune. Oh! No! What? How did he become invincible, bro? What? Anytime you lose a PvP battle, you're going to lose prestige. Prestige starts at 20 and it depletes all the way down to 0. The first time your prestige depletes to 0, you will reset back to 1 and basically get a second life. At this point, you will be prompted with some choices. 3 powerful choices that you can choose from. Usually I go with the enchantment route, but you can choose whichever one suits your build at that moment best. Now, anytime you lose prestige, the amount of prestige that you lose is depending on what day it is. So if it's day 5, you will lose 5 prestige. If it's day 10, you will lose 10 prestige, and so on and so forth. If your prestige does drop to 0 for the second time, then your run will be completely over and you will have to start a new one. Now, if you do end up winning a PvP match, then that's going to add 1 win towards the ultimate goal of 10 wins in the Bazaar. As you go through to achieve those 10 wins, there are different milestones that you're going to want to hit. 4 wins, 7 wins, and 10 wins. Technically speaking, you don't win your run unless you get a minimum of 4 wins. So you don't technically have to get 10, but 10 is really the ultimate goal. 4 wins is what's called a bronze win, 7 wins is what's called a silver win, and 10 wins is what's called a gold win. These milestones are important, especially if you're playing ranked, because each milestone corresponds to different rewards. 4 wins, for example, corresponds to 1 reward chest and 1 ranked point. 7 wins corresponds to 2 reward chests and 2 rank points. And 10 wins corresponds to 3 reward chests and 3 rank points. As I mentioned earlier, every day you're going to get a free ranked voucher, and I highly recommend you guys try to get as many wins as possible with those. This is because if you do end up getting a reward chest, you're going to be able to open it, get a card skin, and some gems. These gems are what you're going to be able to use to buy new heroes down the line. This game is a game that I think you can play fully free to play. However, if you do want to support the devs, then you can of course do that by paying your hard-earned money to buy these things directly. And that's it. That's the Bazaar guide. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment below on your thoughts. Did you enjoy the video? Was it too short? Hopefully I was able to save you some time. A lot of guides out there were really long, so I just wanted to make something that could get you guys up and running as soon as possible. So if you do enjoy that, again, you know what to do. Be sure to follow me. I'll be live streaming, posting videos, and playing other games on my channel. So thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. What? He's immune. Oh, no. What? How did he become invincible, bro? What? Bruh.